here. Right, I've been with Herbalife for 7 years. You guys kind of heard my story throughout the HOM. I'm the owner of this beautiful nutrition club, the Healthy Hub, and I'm here to kind of just share these key basics for all of us, veterans or brand new, especially brand new, because you're about to avoid a lot of mistakes that we did when we first started. All right? So there's two things I want to go over today with you guys. One is your story, how to share your story, especially in the different situations, right? And two, the button response. Right, basically how to talk to someone, how to deal with people, how to invite someone, right? And I'm telling you, you're going to use this for the rest of your Herbalife career, right? This is like a staple for what you're about to do. So first thing we'll go over is the story, all right? So when it comes to your story, there's a few things we have to remember, okay? We can all come up here and tell a 5-minute story if we really wanted to, right? We can go over the detail. But there's different scenarios for a type of story that you're about to share. So there's the event story. So the story that you're sharing when you're in an event, right? An HOM, an STS, right? So that one's got to be a quick 30-second story, right? Here's a thing I learned that kind of makes it makes it simple for you to know. If it's not important to say, it's important you don't say it. Right? If it's not important to say the little detail that you have or that you want to share about your story, like it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? Like it's just this minute detail that doesn't really make a difference, then it's important you don't say that detail. Because then it can drag on. Right? So if you're brand new, your story is getting created right now. Right? Especially if you're not even 30 days in. Right? One, your story is basically your results. Right, your results with the nutrition program. So if you've already been on an Herbalife nutrition program, then essentially you get to share what's happened with you, right? And so the way you package your story is you say, there's really simple, where were you before Herbalife? Right, before Herbalife, pick like 2 or 3 things. Before Herbalife, I weighed X amount of weight, right? Or I had no energy. Or I always skipped breakfast. Or I was depressed. Or I was in a bad spot. I just got out of a breakup, right? I don't know, right? I've heard all these stories. Everyone's got their own walk. Everyone's got their own story of why or how they found Herbalife. So you got to figure out for you what it is, right? Usually numbers are good. So like, hey, I weighed this much weight, right? Or I was at this body fat percentage. Or I struggled to gain weight all my life. Right? So pick about 2 to 3 things. For some of you, it's like I had bad skin. Right? I had acne problems. Right? I don't know why you started. This is legit your story, so you need to figure out why I started Herbalife. So before Herbalife, I had digestive issues. Right? Before Herbalife, whatever. So you write that down. Right? And I need you to write this down. Because this is how you're going to practice your story. Right? Because you're going to have to practice your story. Because when you come up here, everything goes blank. So the more you practice your story, the faster it comes out, it's more simple. Right? Because if you don't practice the story, you're going to blab on for 2 minutes of it. All right? And you got to understand, when it comes to this setting, right, I'm just me just talking to you as a distributor, right? I'm talking to you right now as a business person. Right, as an independent distributor here, right, we all have to be on top of our game for this. Because each of us are going to have guests here at some point, and invites here at some point, right? So this is the simple story, how to break it down when you're coming up here. If you can get this part down, then you're good, right? Because outside of this story, then there's going to be the story that you share one-on-one with somebody. It's going to be the story you share with someone that you're sitting with at a table, or you meet across at the grocery market. It's going to be the story you share with a friend that you met up with, right? That story is different. That story, you get to share the little details, a little bit more in depth, like this is where I was at, this is what I was thinking, right? But in this story, we have to keep it to the point and state the facts. So before Herbalife, 3 things. I never had energy, I always skipped breakfast, and I was at 24% body fat, right? 3 things. I started on my nutrition program, or however your transition wants to be. Then I started on my nutrition program. And then you share your results, right? You can share, I started my nutrition program, and you answer the 2 to 3 things that you mentioned up here. Right, you got to reference back to that, right? First thing I noticed was energy, right? I'm referencing back to my energy, right? So I'll write it up here so you guys don't get confused. So what I said was energy. I think I said skip breakfast, and then I said body fat, right? So before Herbalife, man, I had no energy. I always used to skip breakfast, and I was at 24% body fat. Right? Jumped on my nutrition program, right? However you want to say it. That's your own flavor. That's your own personality, right? Jumped on my nutrition program. First thing I noticed was energy, right? So I'm referencing what I mentioned, right? The shakes are so easy to drink. I never skip breakfast anymore, right? It takes like 10 seconds to do it, right? So I'm referencing to that. And you always want to leave the last thing for like your biggest punchline, whatever you're the most proud of. For some of you guys, it's like, hey, I've lost 80-something pounds, right? I'd probably save that for the end to say that, right? Because that's the last thing that's going to be like, yeah, this is what I've done, right? So, and then I lost 10% body fat. And here's the key thing. Tell them how much you lost. Don't make them do math. I was at 24% body fat, and then I ended up, and I was at 14% body fat. They don't even remember what the hell you started out with. You know what I mean? Like, so they're not even gonna know if it was a great change or not. So tell them the number. Never make them do math. Versus saying, hey, I started at 300, now I'm at 215, right? And then they're sitting there trying to figure out, okay, well, how much did they really lose? Like, no, just tell them I lost 85 pounds, right? Boom, hit them with the punchline. That's key, right? So this is how simple your story should be. All right? Does anybody want to try real quick in front of you? Especially someone like maybe a little newer. Yeah?
Yeah. So basically the way I put it is before Herbalife, I weighed 296 pounds. I skipped breakfast and I had no energy. After starting on my nutrition program, I never skipped breakfast anymore, had tons of energy, and I ended up losing 68 pounds, 23%.
Clap it up for Brandon. Very simple, right? So when he comes up here for HOM, and here's another reason why this is important to go over. Because we all need to share our story. And the reason you're not sharing your story is, one, either you're not confident in your story or what your results, right? Or two, you're not confident in how to share your story. You don't even know, like, oh, how do I even say it, what do I say, right? So the more you have a structured story, it just gives you a little bit more confidence to actually just stand up and you say this for 15 seconds and then I'm good. Because you never know who you're going to connect with, right? I might bring somebody here that doesn't connect with me at all in my story. But then they hear Brendan's story and they're like, dang, like, he started at that weight, okay, I could do this, right? Or he had no energy, right? Or a new mom, right? Like, there's all those types of stories, right? We're never enough, right? I'm not enough. It doesn't matter that I own this club. It doesn't matter that I left my job. It doesn't matter how much I make. I'm not enough. I need you guys. We need each other, right? And that means we need to share our story. So, this is something that we need to master, right? Especially veterans. It's not even the new people that end up making the mistake. It's the veterans that make the mistake. The veterans that go on and on and on and on and on. And it's like, okay, I get it. Hey, my story is the most important story here. And I want all you guys to know my story. But not in this setting, okay? Now, if we're one-on-one, we're hanging out at the bar. Hey, Augie, here's so-and-so, I want you to meet them. And Augie wants to have a quick 5-minute heart-to-heart talk or whatever type of talk with them where he shares a little bit more in detail about why he started Herbalife, where he was in life at that moment, right? That's different. That's okay, right? That story is a different setting. But in this one, this is where when we say you're going to share your story, especially at an STS or an HOM or something, this is the format, okay? Yes. For Herbalife, say your 3 things. Got started on my nutrition program. Refer to those 3 things. And however you want to end it. I love Herbalife. Right? Can't wait to see what happens next. Right? This is my first 6 months. I can't wait for the next 6 months. However you want to end it. It's your own personality, your own style. Everybody got this?
Yeah.
Super simple, right?
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
Well, anybody else want to share? Tony, you want to share?
All right.
Yeah,
Find out.
15 seconds.
15 seconds. Oh, wait. Oh, 15? I don't even
Yeah,
know if I
I
can
said
spell my
Tony.
name.
okay, share yourself.
What's up, guys? My name is Tony. Before Herbalife, I had no energy. I always took naps and obviously weighed 377 pounds. So I jumped on my nutrition. I immediately stopped taking naps. I dropped, so fast forward to now, I've actually dropped down 85 pounds.
Does anybody need help putting their story together?
I think it was harder sticking to the script.
It's hard to stick in the script, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to say a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. And it happens.
Yeah.
Well, and your story changes throughout too.
Yeah, of course. Right? So then you're like, well, so I know like some of us been here for longer than 5 years, 2 years. And it could be, before Herbalife, this is where I was at. Here's what happened to me. Right? And then you can add on to that. And most recently, I've lost 9 pounds last month. Right? I'm back on the grind. Holidays got to me. Right? I'm down, you know what I mean? You can add that, that's for sure. That's awesome. Right? But it's keeping it within that structure. Right? That's going to keep things flowing and it's going to give you confidence to share it. That's really what this is about. I want you guys to have confidence in that, okay, I can get up and speak for 15 seconds, right? Versus thinking I have to get up and share my whole minute story, 2 minutes. No, I can't do that. I'm not going to stand up. So we need your stories, okay? Here's the next thing.